Hello and welcome to Modern Broadcast. Today we are taking a look at a mini PC, and I actually have two of them here with me today, but when we did that ROG Ally and installing Bazzite, I thought, why not turn a mini PC into a mini game console utilizing that same method? So it really sparked kind of just this try to see if we can even get it, what the performance is going to be. So figured, let's give it a shot, shall we? So today we're going to take a look at this. This is the KAMRUI. I don't know. It's not the Toyota Camry, but this is a mini PC here. Relatively cheap. Got it from Amazon. You know, I'll have a link down in the description below if you're interested. But wanted to try to turn this into a game console and using the Bazzite OS. So yeah, let's get into it. Flipping the box over here. It looks like I had to rip the sticker off. Otherwise, I would dock myself, and we don't want to do that. So the name of this is just mini PC. The model number is the GK3Plus. I have no idea what color it is. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabyte storage, and it is the US version, as it looks like they also have Japanese and Australian version. So yeah, should be enough just to get some retro games on there, maybe get a couple Steam games on there, and just see how it performs. Let's go ahead and break it open. I don't have my handy dandy knife. It's been left behind. I need a new one. So we have handy dandy scissors. This is my wife laughing in the background. I don't know if the mic picked that up or not, but I'm leaving that in if it did. Alright, so opening up the box here. Whoop. Gonna pull this aside for now and see what extra goodies we have inside the box. We have a short and kind of pinched HDMI cable here, a power adapter, and what is there? We also have a mount bracket in case we want to mount it to the back of a monitor. A couple screws for that mounting bracket, and an empty PE bag. Sound like pee bag, but that's not what I said. Last but not least, we have an instruction manual here that we're not going to read because we're not going to play with Windows on. So, and let's back together. So, whoop. Unveiling our console here. So it looks like we have some nice ventilation kind of throughout the whole side panels here. A nice design up top. Tons of stickers on top as well. We can scan and join. So for those that want to join whatever that is, there you go. We also have Intel inside. I don't know the performance or the specs on that off the top of my head. So we're going to wing this. On the back side, or side, back. On this side, we have a VGA out, so that is nice. That's going to be great for like arcade games, things like that, to be able to connect to older monitors, just kind of get those nice scan lines in there if you want that, if that's your bag. I would say that this should be the back side of the device. We have a headphone jack, a LAN port that has something over it, says, kindly note, for fast setup, avoid LAN, connecting might trigger long updates. Oh, so here's a sticker that says, for faster setup, avoid connecting LAN, because then there's going to be a ton of updates when you first boot this up, so they're actually recommending you don't update it. That's going to be perfectly fine because we're going to wipe the OS off this anyways. So we have, I have no idea what this slider is, and I can't even get it to slide, so maybe that is so the top pops off? I don't know. I have no idea what that is. We have two HDMI out ports, and the listing shows that these are both 4K out ports at 60 frames per second. So my goal is that we're only going to be using one. We have a USB 2.0 and the power port here. In the front of the device, we have another USB 2.0 port and then two 3.0 ports, and our power button. And lastly, on the last side, we just have an LED strip light indicator with a contact us. So if you want to have a late night rom-com, nope, try to be funny, it's not funny. All right, moving on. Oh, that's the model. So on the bottom of the device here, we have that KAMRUI. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a KAMRUI because I'm not sure. If someone knows how to pronunciate, please put that in the comment section down below just for me to read it the same way again. The model number is the GK3 Plus with 16 gigabytes RAM, 512 gigabyte storage, and this is the Alder Lake N95 CPU that is inside. So I'm not sure how powerful that CPU is, and I'm hoping that we can get some GameCube out of this. We might spray paint it purple to kind of fit the GameCube aesthetic. And it looks like we have a fan. I don't know if that's intake or outtake. I'm gonna assume intake underneath here. So I'm gonna keep messing with this slider thing that I don't know what it does. Do you push on it? I am curious. There is a screw right there. I'm curious if we take that out. That's too thick. So here we have it. I'm not gonna plug it in and turn it on. I know that there's Windows 11 on here. I'm not interested in Windows. I'm more interested in the Bazzite. So we're gonna go ahead. I already still have the USB that we utilized. That's not it. Where is it? Here it is. I already still have the USB flash stick that we used to put the software on there. So I'm just gonna plug this in, get this booted up, and start that process of wiping the OS off of here and putting in Bazzite. Super Friends. Stop the... All right, here we are connected to our PC. We are going to go ahead and change the boot option to be that flash stick. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll on over to boot and go down here. Make sure it is our USB thumb drive. Perfect. Save and exit and start configuring Bazzite. Go ahead and push up to install and let it do its thing. Now, I did just cover a video on this on the ROG Ally. We're using that same image for this. They do have a desktop version of Bazzite, but I was noticing it was kind of buggy on this mini console, or on this mini PC. So I'm just gonna do the handheld version. And if you wanna see that whole process, go ahead and click on the video here, up at the top of the screen, because you can't see what I'm pointing at. So go ahead and do the installation like normal and put in our credentials, then we should be good to go. I think this is another great moment to go ahead and say, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Modern Broadcast content while we wait for this to download. Just kidding, I'm not going to make you sit through this. Moving on. Woo-wee, a good 20 minutes later, let's go ahead and reboot this. Now would be a great time to remove that flash stick as it's rebooting. Then once it boots up, hit continue. And as we see down here at the bottom, it is now installing Bazzite. Bazzite. Again, I keep switching it every time I say it, I feel. And I'm going to keep doing that, and someone in the comment section is going to tell me the way it is, because that's how the internet works. But as we see, we're going to let this finish up and then go through the installation process and getting all of our stuff hooked up to it. Once we're here on the desktop screen, it's going to start auto-populating the welcome. We're going to go ahead and click on next and install our custom stuff that we want on here. So let's go ahead and do so now. We want EmuDeck installed. I do recommend, if you're doing this on a handheld, to install Decky Loader. That's a huge help. Go and finish that up next. You can add extra stuff such as web browsers, gaming, emulation, stuff like that, music, whatever have you. I'm not going to, but you can do so. Even like OBS Studio and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and continue onwards. Perfect. Now we're all done. Let's go ahead, close this out. And we want to install EmuDeck. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that now. So actually, before EmuDeck, what I want to do actually is I want to return to gaming mode, so that way we can sign into our Steam account. So even though this is loading, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this. It's going to ask, are we sure? I'm going to say continue. And the screen goes black for a little while. And you think it's broken. It's not. It takes a minute. So just kind of sit in darkness and enjoy the silence. After a few minutes of that, you're going to see the Steam logo with the Bazzite logo underneath it. It's going to start installing Steam onto our system. So we're going to go ahead and go through this process, sign into Steam, and then we'll go back to EmuDeck. All right, there we have it. So it's loading our data now. Welcome to Steam Deck. Okay, go ahead and just push enter through this, or click to get through all that. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and go down to settings, Bluetooth. We're going to go ahead and go down to Bluetooth here, and we're going to pair our Xbox One controller here. So there we have it, available to pair. Perfect. I'm noticing that we're switching back and forth between night mode and not night mode. I'm not sure why that's happening. Maybe adjust. No. It's not this. I'm not sure why that's happening. So we might have to play with that a little bit later on. But now we're paired with our controller, and we can control this with our controller. I'm going to go ahead and get Steam set up, get a couple things installed, and then we'll do some gameplay testing. All right, here we go. I got a few things installed here. We're going to try out Axiom Verge, something easy that, you know, shouldn't be too demanding on the system. One thing that I'm noticing is I'm not hearing any sound out of the console at all. Like, usually you hear kind of like the Steam UI and whatnot. Maybe in the game it's going to be different. I'm not sure. All right, so here we are. Let's go ahead and hit start. And yeah, I'm not hearing any sound whatsoever. So something's wrong with the sound settings. We'll take a look at that here in a bit, but this appears to be running at full screen, or this appears to be running at full speed. We're able to jump, shoot, yeah. I really didn't think this was going to provide any trouble. I thought for sure that this was going to be able to handle kind of the 16-bit, 32-bit, whatever style game. The controller's responsive. We're able to jump, shoot, run around. No problem. Here we are checking out Tunic. So still a relatively easy game, but a little bit more graphic intensive, just a tad. Oh no. So I still haven't fixed the sound setting yet, but we could tell right away that this is not running smoothly. It's just got a choppy slow-mo. Maybe it's just a cutscene. Maybe it'll get better. Oh. Yeah, no. Oh, we're back. Well, it broke the system for a second, and yeah, no, we're still not running at full speed here. Very choppy, very... and actually, in fact, even broke the system for a second, so... oof. Okay, maybe if we lower the settings, maybe. Round 2. Okay, it's still slow. It's way better. I wonder if we turn the game to 720, that might actually fix it. I'm sure that would provide better. This is running a lot smoother. It's still slowed just a tad, but this is manageable. This you could play on, and this you could do. I had also installed Spider-Man, but I'm going to go ahead and just uninstall that now. There's no way that's going to work. So Axiom Verge did really well. There's probably a few other games, you know, like Sonic Mania, we could probably get working pretty good, and a couple other ones. Let's go ahead and go back to desktop mode. We're going to go ahead and get EmuDeck installed, so that way we have all of our ROMs and be able to test out some GameCube on this. Alright, now with EmuDeck all configured, and we got some different artwork here, let's go ahead and get booted back into Steam and boot up a couple GameCube games. Real quick, I went ahead and fixed the audio problem by going down to audio, and instead of USB, built-in audio. And that fixed the problem. There we go. I'm a huge fan of Luigi's Mansion, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that. It's going to compile our shaders for us, which is phenomenal. That's going to make smoother gameplay as we play. Perfect. I just love that intro. It's so good. Oh, uh-oh. It's not push. It's not playing start. Hello, game. Oh, you know what? I bet you we have to configure the controller. To Dolphin. And we're still getting that weird glitch where it's transitioning to night mode and not, and yes and no, and so I apologize about that. There we go. Xbox wireless controller. Our sticks. Yes, yes. Let's go ahead and program our buttons here. Close and close. And we could just exit up top here. Booting up into Animal Crossing here. Let's make sure the controller works. We see we have our retro achievements up top left. Much better. Okay. And yeah, this is working full speed. Looks good. It's rendering at 1080. So it's been upscaled. And it looks great. One game that I always like to try is Star Fox Adventures. This is notoriously hard to emulate, especially on lower end. It appears that it's actually booting up, which is great. Sometimes that doesn't even happen. But you definitely know in the first cutscene of this game, just absolutely destroys lower end PCs or anything that's trying to emulate this. I actually kind of have high hopes for this, that the laptop here is actually rendering the video and it's not stuttering audio. So let's give this a shot. Let's give this a shot. All right, we have our profile here. Let's go ahead and hit start. Okay. This might work. Oh. Just a tad too soon. As we could hear the audio, but it just can't do the next cutscene, which is notorious. That's why I love, anytime I'm doing a GameCube test, I love to try Star Fox Adventures. One, I love the game, but two, it just breaks everything in its path. So this is a no-go. Here we are booting up The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and I think I accidentally transferred over my custom assets, which they failed to load, so that's good. So it's just going to be stock. Let's go ahead and create a save file here and get into the store. I'm gonna bypass. There's a lot of exposition at the beginning of this game, so I'm gonna skip all that and get to where we can actually start playing. Okay, here we are. This looks great. Again, it's been upscaled to 1080. We're able to move around. Talking works, yeah. Can we do backflips off the dock? And yeah, 10 out of 10. There's no stuttering, no audio stuttering. Game's working really good. We're able to run around. We can roll. Yeah, I don't think we'd have any issues with this. Maybe in some combat, maybe you might get a stutter, but I think overall, it's going to work wonderful. thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. What are your thoughts on making a little kind of personal console? These are very much like the Steam machines from back in like 2014, but in my opinion, better. They run better. The software has gotten better, and I think this was a fun little project just to kind of do. So let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts and what you want to see next on Modern Broadcast. Have a great week, everyone, and take care.